Good morning. It is, what's today? Thursday. That is currently 1:43. I was gonna say in the morning. In the afternoon, I didn't get up too long ago, probably around 11:45-ish. God, my throat hurts so bad. Anyone else who has really bad acid reflux, let me know if this happens to you. I was eating cashews after we got back from the gym last night, and it actually got stuck inside my nasal cavity, and it was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. Like, it was like painful in a way where it was like super annoying, and then I tried to like cough it out and like try to get it out of my nasal cavity, and I think it's out now. But the problem is that I was coughing in my sleep, coughing before bed, like just trying to get it out, and now my throat really hurts. So that's great. That's a good thing to start the work week off with. I don't think I'm sick anymore, but I definitely think that my throat is just sore at this point. I did have a bit of ear pain, like both ears hurt really bad a couple of days ago, and I tried to like clean them out in like a really, like, in a way that isn't gonna fuck my ears up worse, basically. But this morning, I just laid in bed and read a little bit, and then I kind of cleaned up my office, and now I'm doing budgeting stuff. I have been meaning to sit down and do a budget because obviously, because of like life changes recently, my budget has changed a little bit, and I'm trying to figure out exactly how much I can spend a month to make sure that all my bills are paid. You know, just like normal adult shit that I wish I did not have to deal with. Because I'm going to BookNet Fest, I'm trying to figure out the best way to just allow money to sit in my bank account. We're gonna get real here for a second. To just sit in my bank account and me not touch it and just like let it accumulate. So I'm trying to figure out how much to put in savings at the end of every month, how much to budget for groceries, like normal things that the average person does have to pay for that I wasn't paying for, because obviously I was just giving my husband like a certain amount of money every single month, and then the rest of that I could budget between my bills. But obviously what I'm spending on food, my gym membership, you know, like things like that need to be taken into account. So I'm panicking a little bit sitting here trying to figure this out. It is a giant pain in the butt, but it is something that needs to be done. So I'm like trying to figure out how much money to spend for my tip money, how much to save from overtime, you know, like that kind of stuff. Also, because summer is coming and summer at my job is a bit slower, you can get the same amount of hours, but we do sort of lose tips. We do sort of lose like a little bit of overtime because we don't need certain, you know, we only need like one person to work some shifts as opposed to when we normally need like two people. So I'm trying to figure out my hours and making sure other people get hours and like figuring out budget stuff on top of that. So already this morning I'm just like, I'm not stressed out, but I am very busy, like mentally very busy. Another thing that I did that I wanted to share with you guys that is really helping me, and it's actually helping me in a really cool way. And I feel like if you have anxiety or you have you know, like stressors in your life, this could be really advantageous for you to do. I actually sat down about 2 days ago, and the reason why I did this is my roommate and I were actually at the gym, and we got into, not like a tiff, but we kind of like sassed each other like more than we normally do, but we're fucking adults, and like obviously we were like over it the next day. But that happened, and I realized that I probably wouldn't have reacted the way that I did or been so upset about it if there weren't 10,000 other things that were stressing me the fuck out. So when I got home that night, I actually sat down, took time, like just really thought about everything that really stresses me out. And I made a list of them. And then I made a list within each thing of what I could do to minimize that stress. So a couple of things that are currently really affecting me is money, which is why today I'm sitting down to do a budget. So I have a very clear cut, this is what you can spend, this is what you need to save, this is what you get paid every single month at base pay, just 40 hours a week, you know, that kind of thing. Eliminating that stress, having a really clear cut plan. Other things that are really affecting me are like my physical and mental health. So when it comes to physical stuff, I need to go to the dentist. It's been forever since I've been. I think it's been almost 10 years, and I'm sure I have cavities. So what I did within that is I got on, because I have dental and vision insurance. I don't have like normal health insurance, but I do have dental and vision. So I sat down and I figured out who my dental provider like is. It's Aetna, and then I figured out within that who I can call to make an appointment. and you know, about the cost. So I did that. So when I do go to call to make an appointment, it'll be super easy. I'll already have all the information. When it comes to vision, once again, I have vision insurance. So what I did is I actually, to get myself going, to be excited to do this, I picked out a couple of pairs of glasses online to kind of spur me wanting to do it, like wanting these new glasses. But why would you buy glasses if the prescription is wrong? Because I haven't been to the eye doctor in about 7-ish years, 6-7 years, and I have astigmatism and my eyes are very bad right now, and I know I just need to get new glasses. It's time. So I got really excited about the glasses that I had picked out. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make an appointment because I want these glasses. So I made the appointment. It's April 10th at 10 a.m. unfortunately. My mom's gonna go with me to help me with a little bit with my anxiety. You know, just doing things like that, like really sitting down, and instead of allowing the things that you're really stressed out about, instead of allowing them to build up, make little plans, like by this date I want to have this done, or you know, just like calling to make the appointment or having somebody call for you, you know, calling, sitting there with you while you make the call. Because I know, like, for me it makes me very anxious just thinking about having to see the dentist is giving me severe friggin' anxiety, but I know my mom will go with me and I know that's helpful to me. But just make a list of what you need to get done and or what's stressing you out, and then within those things make a list of how you can improve on those things. Because what I've noticed recently is I go to bed and get up around the same time every day. What's been happening is I'm not able to sleep past like 7 hours, which may just be what my body requires, or it may be what I think is happening, where once I'm able to finally fall asleep, when I wake up, whether it be to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night or whether it be just like the sun's kind of shining into my room, I'll wake up, and when I'm like cognizant enough of what's happening, I start thinking about these stressors. Or even if you're not like actively thinking about them, they're still there. And I think that's what's keeping me from being able to sleep, which is affecting other aspects of my life, which is why I wanted to sit down and really figure out what is stressing me out and what, when I'm awake, is bringing me a lot of anxiety. And just figuring all of this stuff out. And it is kind of overwhelming at first to really sit down and be like, all right, what's stressing me out? But what you can do throughout the week, like if you have notes on your phone or you keep like a notebook with you, when something pops up enough times, like say you have driving anxiety, or you know, say you're nervous at work, or say you are nervous about money, things like that, as the days go on, you can just start writing them down. So if you start noticing enough times, like for me, my oral health with my teeth was really getting to me, and I started thinking about it enough and it started popping up enough that I made a note, like my teeth are stressing me out, you need to take care of this. Or like my eyes are stressing me out, you need to take care of this. Like financial stuff stressing you out. I was writing these things down as they became noticeable enough, often enough for me to really realize that this is bringing stress to my life. And it has helped so much. Like I cannot tell you, like the night that we got home from the gym and I was like all pissed off, when I sat down and really wrote the things out, I realized that living with a roommate and living, you know, in a new place, none of that stresses me out. That brings me joy. I have a built-in best friend that I live with that I can like play games with, or if I'm not feeling good, I can just be like, hey, I don't really feel good. Like earlier in the week, we just played fucking Stardew Valley on our computers. Like he sat on my bed and I played on my Mac, and we just played that for hours. Like those things don't stress me out. Being in a brand new place with my own space does not stress me out. But because other things were getting to me, it made it seem like those were, and they weren't. Those aren't stressors in my life. So you really have to hone in and focus on what is actually bringing you stress, because if you allow it to sit there and rot, essentially, it's going to start ruining positive aspects of your life. And I'm definitely one to not focus on what I need to be focusing on, and just like for me, I was like, all right, I'm gonna, you know, I'm really stressed out about stuff, I'm gonna focus on just doing YouTube, like just focus on YouTube, like ignore everything else, and you know, I can't do anything about those things, and just focus on those. And that's not true. I could have done a lot of things about some of the things that were happening. Now, you are gonna have stress in your life that you're not able to take care of, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's an outside influence from somebody that unfortunately, like your parent or a sibling or a friend, and you know, it's hard to figure out really what to do with those. Maybe it's unsatisfactory job that you have. Maybe it's like school, like you know you need to go to school but it stresses you out. Those things more often than not are kind of out of your control. But when you start focusing on the stressors in your life that you can actually take care of, it makes those stressors seem a lot less. So even though you can't really do anything about things that maybe you have to do, or certain relationships that you unfortunately have, you can limit your other stresses, which will make those stressors seem even smaller. I've just had like this epiphany recently about like for me, I'm an adult now. I'm almost 30 and my life is not where I thought it would be, which isn't to say that it's in like a bad place by any means, but it's not where I thought it would be. And I set myself a lot of goals for the beginning of the year that I wanted to achieve by the end of the year, and I'm no closer to achieving those goals. So I really wanted to take time to like sit down and reevaluate what I want to do, what I need to be doing to achieve the goals that I want to achieve. And that includes getting rid of stress. Like thinking about going to BookNet Fest, like all I can think about is, you know, I'm like really excited. I get to meet you guys. I get to, you know, there's like other stuff coming when it comes to BookNet Fest. But for me, it is a stressor, but I feel like it would be a lot less if I wasn't stressed out about other stuff, because I'm stressed out. I want to go to BookNet Fest, but I have to fly. Flying stresses me out. Even if I was driving would give me anxiety. You know what I mean? It's a 14-hour drive. But what really is bringing this on is my body doesn't feel at its best. So whether it be my eyesight, my teeth, my physical well-being, my mental well-being, those things are not at its best, which makes flying seem a lot harder. I feel like if I had like a fully functioning body and was like, my body's great and, you know, I feel okay enough to fly, or I'm not worrying about my mental stuff, or I'm not worrying about physical stuff, it would make flying or make going to this convention with my friends seem a little bit easier to do. So it's something that I really wanted to do, so I really needed to sit down and figure out how to make that as manageable as possible. Because I have anxiety, you know what I mean? And like going to a convention and meeting people and like it can be overwhelming. If you guys know me, I have a really hard time responding to Instagram messages. I have a really hard time keeping up with Twitter messages. Like even my best friends, I have a hard time keeping up with them because everything is so overwhelming to me. And I decided that I was watching somebody's video and they said, it was like not like a booktuber, but just like another YouTuber, and they said, I don't want to be defined by the things that I don't want to do. Like I don't want to be the person who goes, oh, I don't do that, I don't fly, I don't travel, I don't, you know, I don't do certain things. And that really hit with me. I don't want to be defined by, oh, I don't go to the movies because they give me anxiety. Oh, I don't fly because flying gives me anxiety. I don't want to travel because traveling gives me anxiety. I don't want to be defined by the things that I don't want to do. And I know a lot of you guys can relate to that. I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person who, I want to get the satisfaction of doing the things that scare me and feeling really great about even if I have a panic attack on the plane, like who fucking cares? It's not going to kill me. The worst that's going to happen is I'm going to pass out, which would make the flight go by a lot quicker. So I just keep thinking about worst case scenario. What's the worst thing that could happen? Pass out. All right, you're safe and taken care of. You're gonna be there with your mom. My mom's going with me to BookNet Fest. So it's like, I don't know, for me, I'm just at the point where I wanna get through the things and I wanna face the things that I'm afraid of, because I didn't used to have anxiety. Anxiety, I've always had OCD, but anxiety didn't come to me until about 3 or 4 years ago. And it was so sudden, and it was the worst thing I've ever experienced. Like your first panic attack, you never forget that. I thought I was suffocating. I thought I was dying. I thought I was having a heart attack. I was in like the mountains of West Virginia in a car, and it was the worst thing I've ever experienced. And it just suddenly came on, and I used to love flying, and I used to love traveling, and I used to love like communicating with people and having relationships with people, and suddenly that changed. And it's really like, you know, you can't say, you know, oh, just feel better kind of thing. But for me, it's like, you know that you didn't used to struggle with this, and you can try to get back to that in a way of, you have to accept that you have it. This is something that you have now, because it's so polar opposite to what I used to be, but then finding some strength in how I used to be and knowing that I've already done these things. These are not things that have killed me in the past. These are not things that I've had to worry about in the past. These are not things that I've experienced negative effects from in the past. And moving forward, being like, if you've done it before, you can fucking do it again. And that's what I'm focusing on right now. And it's funny that this all came about on one of my most stressful weeks I've ever had. This week is bullshit, frankly. 3 of the employees that I have under me actually took time off. 1 took an entire week off. 2 of them took the entire weekend off. So our 3 busiest shifts, I work by myself this weekend, which can be really cool because I get all the tip money. I work by myself, and I have a good enough like other management staff that, you know, we can kind of like curb things as they come in. But it is really stressful. You know what I mean? And I'm like thinking about how, if this is something that I can't, like for me, work is something that I can't really do anything about, how can I make the other stressors in my life smaller? And that's what I'm focusing on. yeah, I haven't read enough to really update you guys, but I did want to pop on here and kind of say that for, you know, a little bit of an update. I've just been staying busy and trying to stay positive and really focusing on what I need to focus on and what I need to get done. So yeah, I hope you found this helpful. I probably could have made this update's 15 minutes long. I could have made this its own fucking video, and I didn't. Anyway, I love you dearly. I'm going to be reading a lot at work tonight because it's thankfully me and one other person, but I am going to be there all night, so we'll see kind of what happens. But I didn't want to just tell you guys kind of what I'm experiencing, and because, you know, I like being open about my mental health, and it's probably a bit more manageable than it's ever been right now, but a couple months ago, it was the worst it's ever been. So I wanted to kind of just like keep you guys in the loop of the natural progression of like how to kind of manage this, and like if I find something that works for me, you know, how that works for me, and see if it works for you guys too. But I'm gonna hop off here. I'm gonna get some breakfast, finish doing budgeting stuff, but I love you guys a lot. I hope you're having a good day. It's Thursday, so when you guys see this, it's gonna be Monday if you watch it on a Monday. So whatever day you're watching this on, I hope it's been great. But I love you guys, and I will see you in my next